So I just want to tell you guys a little bit about sex trafficking and how relevant it actually is to us and how it happens right around us, and hopefully maybe motivate you guys to take a small action to stop this huge problem in our world today. Abraham Lincoln said, "If slavery isn't wrong, nothing is wrong." And he was obviously talking about the slaves that were freed here in America, but today slavery is a bigger problem than it's ever been in the world. To start off, I'm just going to tell you a story about a girl named Nicole. She was an 18-year-old here in America, and she was battling a drug addiction. She was at a club one night, and a man came up to her and offered her a way to get clean from her drug addiction. So naturally, she thought that sounded like a good idea. She trusted this guy and went to Chicago with him and another girl that were supposed to be helping her. And she did get clean from her drug addiction, but they were going to go from Chicago to Myrtle Beach, and when they were in the airport waiting for her luggage, this man brutally beat the other girl in front of Nicole, and he said to Nicole that if she didn't come with him, he would do the exact same thing to her, and he would go and find her family and kill them all. And that's how a lot of sex traffickers get girls. They threaten them and threaten their families. So she did go with this man, and she feared him, like right from the start. She had so much fear of him. He at one point took a hot iron, and he said to her that if she wasn't going to help these clients, he was going to burn her face with this hot iron. And she was forced to make $1,000 a night for this man. So she was trafficked across the United States for 7 years until she finally decided that she would rather die than stay in this. And thankfully she got help from the police before she did commit suicide, and she got out of the sex trafficking, but it's such a big problem. And it's a problem that happens here in America. It's not just a third world country problem, it's right here. So I'm just gonna cover 3 different points. We're gonna talk about how it is the fastest growing crime here in the world, and how it happens around us daily, and how we can help stop this problem. So some statistics. Right now there are 27 million slaves in the world, and of that number, 1.4 million are sex slaves. And of the 1.4 million, 100,000 are here in America. They're right around us. So this is, I forgot to change the number on the slide, I guess, but it's actually a $150 billion business today. It's the hugest industry in the world. It's above, like, drug trafficking. It's above all of that. And the average age of the victim is 12 years old. So it's your younger brother, it's your younger sister. And it's not just females, it's males too. They're not picky about the gender. They will take anybody. And only 1 to 2% of those children are rescued from this. So that's such a small number, and we need to change that number. So it is around us. How Na was talking about the foster kids, it actually is a huge thing with foster kids. They will go into these families, and they don't actually necessarily know that there is the Child Protective Services, but they don't actually know what is happening to kids, and a lot of kids will get into this sex trafficking world through the foster care. And also it happens to kids that run away. So within 48 hours of being on the streets, 1 in 3 kids are forced into sexual exploitation. 1 in 3. That's a huge amount of children that are forced into this. And it actually happens here in Iowa too. We have Interstate 80 and Interstate 35 that meet right here in Des Moines. So here you can see Interstate 80. It goes across the whole United States, and this is Interstate 35. And so where they meet is a huge place that the pimps will bring the girls across, or the boys, and they will sell them to each other. Since these are such big interstates through the United States, it's here in Des Moines, they can trade these girls. So how can we help? Since this is such a big thing, it seems like there's no way we could possibly conquer this, but we actually can. I read a lot of articles that talked about how you can see if a girl is in sex trafficking. There is prostitution, and some girls do choose to be in prostitution, but about 75% of the girls that are prostitutes have not chosen that lifestyle. So things like weird erratic behavior in a girl, you'll see girls like walking the streets at night, and in different cities there's usually like one street that the girls will walk. And usually girls that are in sex trafficking are more, they won't make eye contact, or they'll be always like glancing around, because usually if they're out on the streets, their pimp is also out on the streets, and he's watching because he doesn't want these girls to be rescued. He doesn't want the police to come up and save this girl because she is like his currency. So also if they're timid, and I read a story about a police that pulled over a car that had a girl and her sex trafficker in the car, and the sex trafficker would not let the girl talk when the police would ask her questions, and they claimed that they were engaged but they knew nothing about each other. So different weird signs like that. And if you were to happen to come across somebody who you would think that is in this, don't try to help them yourself, because you don't know what you can get caught in, because these pimps are not afraid to beat, to rape, to kill anybody. They will kill you. And so you can notify the police about it, and it's something that the police are aware of, so they are willing to help these girls get out. And also, a huge thing is to inform others about this problem, because that's the biggest thing that's lacking here in America, is people just don't realize. We think it's over in Asia, we think it's in Europe, we don't think it's here in our own countries, in our own cities. So if we can tell other people, knowledge is power. So you can also support campaigns that are around to help stop the human trafficking. There are a lot of campaigns. I personally have donated to the A21 campaign. They do a lot around the whole world and also here in America to help these girls get free, and then to also give them the counseling that they need after they get out of these situations, because they do need a lot of help. So we can change the numbers together. We can change the 1 to 2% that are rescued. We can make that go up so more people are rescued. And actually only 1 in 100,000 traffickers are ever caught, but we can help change that if we are aware and if we are informing others. And Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." So let's each be the change we want to see in the world and change